I am Walter Zill, and this is my wife Verna. We are here to tell you a little bit about our experience with mango sales and eating them. Right now we're underneath a canopy that I just put up this spring. But we first put up a canopy in 2010 during a time when there was a quarantine on the movement of mango fruit, where according to the law we were not supposed to let any fruit leave our premises. It could be canned or frozen or eaten or buried, and that was a choice. So having more fruit than we wanted to waste or can, we bought a canopy and put it up in our front yard and bought picnic tables and invited people to eat their fruit there, eat here. So from that experience we had a lot of input from other people and how they like to eat their mangoes. And we were discussing with, well, the causes for that quarantine having to do with an insect that was brought in. And one of the persons from an island said, well, we don't have that problem down there because we eat our fruit at night under the mango trees. We don't see what's in it. So I thought that would be a way of letting you know the importance of leaving fruit in other countries if you're visiting there, and not endangering this country if you travel here and want to bring in something in another place. Here in this display I want to show what Verna has laid out here this day. Going around on this side there's a tray with the name Carrie, C-A-R-R-I-E, which was named after my grandmother, one of the daughters of Sophie Fry. There's a Providence, which happens to be a seedling that originated on my own place here. It first fruited in 2010. Next is a fruit punch, which is a seedling from my brother's experimental planting, which is an excellent flavored, nice, wonderful mango. Can't say enough in favor of it. Down here in this lower tray is a hickory. That's a seedling that originated at my parents' place. Many years ago. It's a longer story that I'm going to tell right now, but it's one of our favorites because it bears so heavily on such a compact, well-behaved growth habit tree, and people really like it. And we believe it's a descendant from Carrie, which is a descendant of the Sophie Fry, which is a seedling from Julie. And Pickering seems to show enough evidence of that, some Julie characteristics, that people from Jamaica really like it. The Gary mango, we believe, is another seedling from Carrie. And it doesn't look like much, but when you eat it or taste it, it is one of those wow mangoes. And my brother planted the original tree at his place when he bought a place out west of town, and had it in a position where the prevailing winds would carry the pollen into where his other mangoes were. He was hoping to get the flavor that he found in this little mango into varieties that were larger in size as his seedling would go ahead and bloom and fruit in later years. I think the result of that is seen actually in a couple varieties. This is Pineapple Pleasure, which comes from my brother's planting out there. I'll show more of it later. That's a seedling from Springfells that we believe was pollinated from the Gary mango. Also, Sweet Tart is one that some believe has had an influence from Gary. Can't be certain about a lot of things in open pollination, which is the method by which mangoes are pollinated, as the wind blows the pollen, you know. Anyway, it's a seedling from zinc that is very, we'll talk more about zinc later. Honey Kiss is one that originated at my brother's place for some reason. He was not interested in it at first, and I took graft wood and put on a tree of mine, and I'm very glad that I did, because later he asked for me to graft him a tree of it so he would be able to propagate trees of it. It's a very sweet, tasty mango that we believe was pollinated by the Gary onto a zinc. A kit. The kit, a cross between kit and Gary to make the honey kiss. Seacrest is a seedling from Edwards, which was for years the standard of what made for a good mango. Edgar is another variety from Gary's planting that, it's proven to be very well liked by persons who want a firm mango that's easy to ship, and you have confidence that it'll arrive in good condition even if it's ripe, because it resists bruising, and yet it's not a fibrous mango. And on the subject of fiber, let me just mention this little thing. I once asked a person if they would be offended if they had a mango that had no fiber in it. And they thought of it a little bit, and they said, well, yes, because I kind of like fiber in mango. It helps move things through my digestive tract. The Duncan is a mango that originated in West Palm Beach. I have not a whole lot to say because of my lack of information and knowledge, except that it bears very heavily, makes a nice, well-behaved growing tree. To persons who like that particular flavor, they just think that's the best mango that exists, and I'm not going to argue with them. When they're fully ripe, they are really good. Verna's got something to say about it.
Okay, on the Duncan mango, it makes the best frozen, because when you blend it after it's frozen, it makes a lemon sauce, which is excellent for waffles or anything else you'd like to use it on. But the others, when we thaw them, we leave them as they are and use it on cereal. But the Duncan, we always blend it and use it as a sauce.
Everybody's got their own taste. The Philippine, actually, my memory tells me a little bit, but not much, about the Philippine was possibly one of the contributors in the development of the Duncan mango. As I recall, they believe that the Duncan resulted as a cross between the Philippine and the Edward mango. And it seems very reasonable to me that that is the case. And those are both very good mangoes. The Philippine mango is known by a few different names. Manila is one, and Carabao is the name by which it's known in the Philippines. Let's see what next is there to show. Let me step on the other side over here and hold up a box of Valencia Pride. Is that visible there?
Very.
Verna ought to be the one that talks about Valencia Pride, because when she first came to Florida from Oregon, her experience with mangoes got off to a really great start, because she was introduced to the Valencia Pride mango, not knowing what it was. She knew she liked mangoes after that. Verna could tell a lot more, but she sort of got her tongue tied at times. That pretty much covers everything that's on display here. So next we'll go out and do some cutting and some other comments.